Yo, what is going on, y'all? Welcome to the channel. This is gonna be my first character tutorial that I'm gonna release for 2xKO. I'm gonna do one for every character that is in the game, and then I'm gonna do one for characters when they come out. I'm gonna start with the character that I play the most, Illoai. Currently Diamond ranked, about to be Masters, but we shooting for Challenger before the seventh. Everything gets you know what I mean? Everything gets reset. So I just wanted to give a tutorial on Illoai just to, help out anybody that was, interested in the game, especially for those people that are going to be joining when the game fully comes out on the 7th. So I just wanted to make a tutorial for anybody that was interested, who hasn't had a chance to get their hands on the game and still wanted to, get a head start before the 7th to understand how a character they're interested in works. So to start off with Illoai, and I'm gonna do this for every character because I feel like it's important to understand the effective range of your character before getting into like anything else. You want to know kind of the position that your character is playing, right? Um, I personally believe that Illoai is a more mid-range fighter, mid to close range, right? I think she has a lot of very large buttons that cover a decent amount of the screen, so you don't have to be up in people's faces like Echo or Yasuo, but you definitely cannot play full screen as well as somebody like Jinx. So I think she's a very mid-range fighter, staying around that mid-section of the screen where she's causing people to whiff, grabbing punishes and then going into combos afterwards. So what is Illaoi's main gimmick? Illaoi's main gimmick is her tentacles. You get tentacles anytime you hit an opponent with any of your I believe it's S2 abilities. Yeah, any of your S2 abilities spawn in tentacles. So that's like your neutral S2, down S2 spawns in tentacles, your air S2 spawns in tentacles. So you have a ton of different ways to get these tentacles out on the screen. As you can see, you can only ever have 2 tentacles out on the screen at once. Any more than that, your oldest tentacle will disappear and a new one will spawn in. Because the other unique trait about these is that they don't actually go away. And a lot of other fighters, anything that's spawnable, once it's off of the screen, it deactivates, right? So let's say I have a tentacle here. Even if I push her all the way to the other corner, the tentacle is still technically on the field. So it doesn't matter how far away you get from the tentacle, it will stay on the map. So it's just kind of important, remember where your tentacles are, and kind of, you don't have to keep hyper focused on which one is old or which one's new, but just, kind of keep that in the back of your head as well. With S2 being the main way to spawn in the tentacles, S1, or your skill 1, is the main way to activate these tentacles. Each one of your S1 moves has a different attribute or each one of your S1 moves activates the tentacle in a different way. Some of them are just purely damage or for like a block strings. Some of them are combo extensions, things of that nature. So for instance, things like your neutral S1 is a combo starter from long range. You have things like that's your air S1 to help extend combos and things like that. So a very simplistic way of thinking about it is S2 is how you spawn your tentacles, and S1 is how you use those tentacles. Okay, so now that we understand kind of like the basics of her gimmick, I'm gonna go into some of her key moves, and then after that I'll show you just some basic combos, some advanced combos, and yeah. So talking about the key moves that Illoai has, just kind of in neutral, you have a couple of normals that are pretty good. So you have things like down medium hits from very far away. It's a very quick low move, and it is a combo starter, so if that hits, you can go directly into neutral medium to start a combo and stuff like that. Another good move that you have is just medium attack. It's a forward motion move. Puts you forward a little bit, and it is one of the main moves that helps you kind of extend combos, because with that forward step, it allows you to kind of catch people in situations where you wouldn't be able to. Another one of Illoai's good moves is obviously, and this is just universal on every character, her down heavy. It has a very wide hitbox, as you can see. I think I could actually turn on hitboxes. Yeah, pretty big hitbox here, upward hitbox. Like most characters in this game, 2H is just a move, the universal anti-air, and it's really good on Illoai. Another anti-air version, or another anti-air option you have as Illoai, especially if you have a tentacle out, is down S1. Down S1 is also extremely large. It hits a very large area above Illoai. As you can see, it is a massive anti-air, and it's very quick. And like I said, if you have a tentacle out, it is a combo extender. So yeah, really good move. A lot of times you can catch people jumping in on you with that, an instant combo, especially if they don't have break. That's just a full combo. So yeah, I typically either use this if I have tentacles out to anti-air, this if I don't have any tentacles out to anti-air. The next move that I think is kind of important to talk about on Illoai is her down S2. Down S2 is pretty much your only way as Illoai to contest anybody from full screen. It has two different activations. If you just tap down in S2, it'll just do that. But if you tap down and hold S2, it will go wherever the opponent is standing. So even if they're closer to me, it just tracks wherever the opponent is standing. Now, I say that this is your only way to contest full screen with Illoai, but you realistically shouldn't be just throwing this out, because you can get baited, and it has a very long recovery, and people can do jump-ins over that and just, you know, come in and punish you for that. The other thing is it can be parried as well. So just be careful about where you're throwing it out, but definitely if you know you're playing against a Jinx, they're sitting full screen, you need some sort of way to poke them. You can catch them, you know, during an animation if you time it right. But yeah, that's one of your only ways to contest full screen. The next ability or move on Illoai that's really good is going to be forward S1. It's the Rekka series, so you can tap it once, you can tap it twice, or you can tap it 3 times. If the first hit hits, the rest of it is a natural combo. So if you get this, you can do the other 3 hits, no problem. And the other unique property about it is that it does destroy projectiles. Yeah, so it does destroy projectiles. So this is going to be another one of the ways that you kind of play against people who are playing more of like a zoning game, using this to stop their projectiles and stuff. And as well, this does have, like I said, all of them do have activations for the tentacles. This one is one of the 2 unique ones, and I'll let you know about those ones as well, that you can only activate them when they're inside the area of this tentacle. So if I were to hit S1 on her now, like forward S1, the tentacle won't do anything. If I was to hit it while they're inside of that like green luminescent thing towards the bottom, now the tentacle activates. The only 2 moves for Illoai that have this property that you have to be inside of the tentacle's range in order for them to activate is forward S1 and move S1. Everything else, the tentacle will spawn on where you're at. So for instance, we can spawn something on this side of the map, and let's say we want to do jump S1. the tentacle will join us. Let's say we're on the other side of the map and we do grab, the tentacle will always join us. It is only, and I repeat, it is only forward S1 and neutral S1 that do not have infinite range with their tentacle interactions. The most notable move for Illoai, and the one that a lot of people have probably seen online, is her S2, or her, I'm sorry, not her S2, her Super 1. I think it's Super 1. It's either Super 1. I think it's Super 1. Tentacle spawn. This is a very, very strong pressure tool in the corner. As you can see, the tentacles activate, and they activate automatically, striking every couple seconds. And afterwards, it leaves another tentacle for you to do whatever you want with. The reason why this is good is because on block, this becomes very scary. You know, there's a lot of different things that people can do. People have done with this. I'll put some clips on the screen now. There's a Blitzcrank Touch of Death with this. It's a really, really good super. Learning how to utilize it for corner pressure is probably one of the most important things when playing Illoai, because it's just so, it's a game-breaking super. It's almost a game-breaking super. So yeah. So Illoai's corner game is also very, very good. You have a lot of things that you can do outside of even just doing Super 1. You with a tentacle, you have a couple different options, right? Let's say they don't wake up with that little blast that knocks you back. Let's say they just stand. If they aren't expecting a grab, you get a grab, and you get full combo, right? Other things that you could do in the corner, let's say you have an opponent that's really jumpy, they jump, you already have your tentacle spawn, down S2, full combo. You know? Other things that you can do, let's say, you know, they tech the grab or whatever, you guys are back in neutral. If they tech the grab, I think it breaks the tentacle. But let's say they're in the corner, there's a tentacle there, they don't know what's going on. Back S1, activate tentacle. A lot of the times in situations like that where a counter hits, you can get a full combo off of that. There's a lot of different things you can do with Illoai in the corner. Her corner pressure is arguably some of the best corner pressure in the game. She just has so many things. Like with the tentacles, there's so many things that you can do. So, all right. So then I kind of gave you a rundown on like what I think like notable moves are and things like that. Before I go into the combos, I just kind of talk a bit about how I play my neutral with Illoai. I currently play my Illoai with a Jinx support. So I mainly, like I said, I stay around this mid-range, looking for pokes. You know, down medium, standing medium. You know, just standing heavy is also really good, and crouching heavy is also very good as well. You know, just I stay around this mid-range, calling assist and trying to outpoke my opponent. And then when I do get my hits, I'm usually doing a combo that takes all the way to the corner, because Illoai does have pretty decent corner carry, especially if she has tentacles out already. And there's a combo routing that I'll show you where you can spawn a tentacle in and then also utilize that tentacle within the same combo. So there's a lot of ways to get your opponent to the corner, and then once you're in the corner, going straight into Super 1 and doing, you know, your crazy block stuff, block strings and things like that. That's pretty much the game plan with Illoai. Just, you know, utilizing your good big buttons to control space, control aerial movement, and then once your opponent makes that mistake, you're rushing in, you're doing your combo, and then once you're in the corner, spawning in those tentacles, and then just, you know, doing whatever you want with the opponent. Okay, so now that we've gone over some other stuff, I think it's time for me to show you some combos. So I'll put the notation on the screen. I'm gonna do like basic B&B with her. I'll do an easier one for beginners, medium one for a little bit more experienced players, and then something that's a little bit more advanced for the advanced players.
In motion.
Cool. So yeah, if you guys like the video and learn something about Illoai, consider subscribing. Like I said, I'll be doing one for every single one of the characters. I'm gonna do one for Juice, because that's the other character that I play. I'm gonna do one for Ari, like every character. Not gonna list them all, but I'm gonna do one for every character. And hopefully get them out before the 7th, so that people who are looking to get into this game can have a little bit of a head start. But yeah, consider subscribing. Catch the streams at twitch.tv/disarray_L. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.